Hi guys! I was so pleased at how the firewood edging turned out on my back garden that I decided to do it around the bed that is next to the polytunnel. And it actually gave me maybe another foot of space to plant in. And I even did some on the other side. Ignore the mess in the polytunnel. Right now it's in a transitional period at the end of a season. But here we have lots of beans that are doing really well. I think these are white beans. It's the shelling type, so I have to wait for them to dry. But I didn't plant them for the beans actually. I planted them for nitrogen fixing. And if you plant legumes or beans, it fixes the nitrogen in the soil. Their roots release some nitrogen modules, and your next season you'll have richer, nicer soil. So that's what's left in here. And I have a couple of artichoke plants actually looking really good. They looked terrible all summer, but they're beautiful leaves. And at this point, they're not going to make flowers for me. And they probably will not survive our winter here. But we'll see what happens. It looks pretty nice now. And then I added some pots in here with little sprouts of kale, and I had something digging it up every day. I did put some sharp eggshells in here. I always save my eggshells, but I don't even know if you can see the sprouts. They're so small. But there's 3 little kales in each one of these pots, so I thought that would be a nice winter crop. And I have 2 pots along here. I'm going to step back a bit so you can get a feel for the whole bed. So I still have the artichokes, the beans, and 2 pots of kale, which will eventually be taller, as long as whatever it is doesn't dig it up completely. But I just keep replanting it. So I'm really excited about how this bed looks. This is a canna lily at the end. That's going to be pulled up and stored for the winter inside, as is the one that's around here. I have a very tall one over here still producing flowers, and that's also going to be torn up and then dried off and stored over the winter inside as a tuber, as a bulb. Here's a view from further back, and I think you can see it looks a lot neater than it did before. I'm really loving the firewood edging, and I think I'm going to use it in a lot more places. I'm looking at these and thinking I need a lot more of these in my garden. I think later I'm going to stop by the nursery and get a couple more flats of them. They're so pretty throughout the fall, and they're the first thing that blooms in the spring. They overwinter here pretty well, so I am really excited about that. And this one has a purple and white theme, which I'm really loving. And lots of seedlings came up in the second rustic bed that I put together with the firewood edging. I'm kind of amazed. It's mostly mulch here, just a tiny bit of homemade compost. But some of the beans came up, and it looks like all of the arugula that I scattered came up here too. So whether I get a crop or not, if they grow large enough to give me some good leaves, doesn't matter, because if they don't, it's just going to be adding organic matter, kind of a living mulch to the soil. But arugula is a crop that can grow in the cooler weather. So that is all throughout this bed, and I'm glad to see that even in its first year, we're growing some things in here. So I'm pretty excited about that. And one of my peach trees is doing well, and the other one is kind of puny. But look how well that one's done. I think it's even put on a little growth. I hope the vibrance of this blue shows up in this tall ageratum. This plant is still going strong. It is an annual, so once the frost comes, it'll take it. But this has been a beautiful plant, wonderful for cutting, for cut flowers. And I just love it. been beautiful puffs of purplish blue flowers. Wonderful. And the leaves are beautiful too. But this garden's been full of blooms all fall, and I'm really enjoying all the riot of color. All different colors. And these are the zinnias I finally grew. And I haven't done any cutting. I've been letting the bees enjoy it. There's a bee at the very top there, enjoying that big zinnia right now. My tabletop forest is thriving. All the little saplings look happy. They get a nice dose of sun in that spot. I've decided I need more coleus in my life next year, so I'm taking cuttings and I'm hoping to nurse them along until next spring where I can plant them out everywhere. I especially love these darker varieties. Looks like I've got some cosmos seeds to gather. Let me go ahead and just scoop those up. Here they are, guys. Couldn't be any easier. So the chaff will just kind of blow away, but those darker parts are the seeds. They're long, skinny seeds. Look how easy that is. That's why I can grow these every year. And next year will be my 3rd year growing these. Same variety. This was from my son 2 Mother's Days ago. So guys, thanks so much for joining me in the garden this morning, and I hope you like some of the changes I made, and I will be continuing to do some of my fall cleanup and winter prep work. Hope you're having fun in your gardens. Bye!